Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth episode of the Same Person Radio podcast. It's your co-host Steven alongside co-host Justin.
Hola. I was going to say adios. That wouldn't have worked. Adios. We're done here. See you later.
That's it for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Less than 1 minute. Real quick. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's 2017 is going good so far. Justin, how's everything going with you?
Pretty good. What did I do this week? I just worked and took care of a baby, and it was my wife's birthday. So, yeah, that's about it going on around here. How about you?
Oh, that sounds good. Just about the same minus the baby and the wife's birthday.
Yeah.
So, therefore, just work. Typical week.
Are you recovered from your hangover from yesterday?
Yes, I am recovered from a hangover. Tip people, don't drink alcohol. It makes you hungover, and it's not fun the day after.
Yeah,
especially when you go to the movies, and I did get real drunk. But hey, it was
fun.
It was fun while it was happening. Just wasn't fun after the fact.
After you woke up.
Yeah, I'm getting too old for this shit, I guess. So, I'm gonna start off with this, Justin. So at work, we have a lot of bathrooms at work. Probably got 4 or 5 different bathrooms that each have about 4 or 5 stalls in it. At least for the guys. Not sure about the women, obviously, because I'm not a woman. So going to go to the bathroom, and there's nobody in there, and so I decide to go and use the handicap stall. I'm not handicapped in any way. I'm sure I'm handicapped in a lot of ways.
That's arguable.
I'm not officially deemed handicap. So go in, do my business in the handicap stall because it's nice and big and got a lot of space, so it's kind of comfortable while you're sitting on your throne. And I come back and I saw something online or talking to a friend, and they were talking about, is it okay to use a handicap stall if you're not handicapped? So I was just, wanted to see what your thoughts were on it, and I'll give you my thoughts on it.
Well, it sure is nice having that extra room and that bar to grip when you really got to push. So,
right, exactly.
So, I mean, is it? See, I kind of feel like that's kind of like a weird thing if you really kind of think about it. Just because, I mean, it's technically not for you, but if no one's using it, then it's like, what's the big deal? But like, how shitty would you feel if also you're just sitting there, just toiling away on your phone, looking up, news, and all of a sudden you just hear some fucking guy wheeling on a wheelchair or something, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like do you go, hey, hold on 1 second, I'll wipe and then I'll get out of your way? Or like, what do you do?
So here's my thing on that. At my job, I know for a fact that there are 0 people who use, at least men, use a wheelchair. Or use some other type of device because they're handicapped, or anybody that's handicapped in my office. So I know that there won't be, I wouldn't run into that issue, which is why I feel a little bit more comfortable using it. But then again, if there's somebody that comes in and he broke his ankle, so he's on crutches, and I'm sitting there dropping a deuce, and he's like, comes in and he knocks on the door, and well, you're gonna have to wait about 15 minutes because I just got in here. So
I'm not done surfing Facebook. Sorry, hold on. Take a go the other side. We all know that
90% of the time that we're in the bathroom, we're on our phones playing a game or browsing the interwebs. But
exactly.
now if we go to a grocery store, say my wife and I go to the grocery store and I've got to go to the bathroom, I'm not too sure how I usually go about that. I think usually I'll go in a normal stall, except for, I don't know, I'm 6'4", I'm pretty tall, so I got, I need a lot of room. Sometimes I go into a stall, Justin, and it is the smallest goddamn thing. The toilet's real low. I can't even spread my legs out. I just run into issues doing that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be real honest with you. I always go for the handicap stall. I don't give a shit. Like it's fine with me. Like I if that happened where all of a sudden I just heard squeaky wheels come into a bathroom, I'd be like, oh god, that sucks. But I'd be like, it's never happened to me, and so it's like, okay, but no, I always go for that stall. I just like having the room and just be like, all right, I'm good to go. I'm not like right next to someone, so it's like we're good.
So basically, what you're trying to tell me is you don't care if there's a guy with a wheelchair. You're just going to sit in the stall. You're not going to respond, and you're going to pretend that your handicap is that you're mute and you can't respond to this guy banging on the door who's getting ready to shit himself, but he can't stand up and go to the other stall because there's not enough room.
No, not necessarily. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, I don't know. I usually just go to that stall by default just because it's like the nicest stall usually because you have the room. But I mean, yeah, I understand you're probably not supposed to do that. If the other stalls are open, you probably should leave that one open. But I don't. So
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's any rules against it. I think it's more of a moral,
it's more of like this is
ethical, type thing. But
because even if you think about it, like not always everywhere. Some places have a mark, but like something like I know our grocery store, like the one bigger stall isn't like have a sign on it like handicapped or anything. It's just there.
It's just
like,
a bigger stall. Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So,
I guess it's most people, kind of associate that with it being the handicap stall. So
yeah,
it is what it is. Like I said, if you know there's not anybody there that's handicapped that's going to use it, I feel perfectly fine going in. But like if I'm at the grocery store, or something like that, I feel kind of bad. One other place that I don't really feel bad is at like a sporting event. When it's the end of the first quarter at a football game and you got to go to the bathroom and you're waiting in line. So honestly, it doesn't matter if it's handicap or not. You're gonna people are just gonna use it. I feel like that's one place, especially sporting events, is where people don't really care. But like if the guy with the wheelchair comes in, at least for me and some, most people, probably you too, is like you see a guy in a wheelchair come in and he's maybe two spaces, like two people behind you, and the next stall that opens up is the handicap stall, and you say, "Hey, why don't you go ahead?"
Right. Yeah, and that's just what. Yeah, you would. Yeah,
something like that. There are some people that are like, "Fuck that guy! I'm gonna go take a shit, and I don't even care if he's gonna have to wait 30 extra minutes because."
Okay, so actually, what about this situation? What if in that same situation, and like, let's say like it is like it's go time, like you have to go, like you got the sweats, you got to go. Are you gonna let that guy cut in line, or are you go and poop?
Oh God,
because if we're getting into the bathroom stories here, there was one time when I was out working and I was like, I have to go like right now. And there was a line in the men's bathroom. And I literally was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And like, I knocked on the women's door. No one answered. And I quickly got in there real quick without anyone seeing me. Went to the bathroom because literally it was either going to be in my pants or in that bathroom. And I got that. And I kind of like peeked out the door when I left. And I'm like, no one's here. And I ran out of that McDonald's as fast as I possibly could to my truck. And I left because I was like, no, thank you.
Well, here's the thing. I feel really bad for whoever that woman is that went in right after you.
She's like, what the hell?
Right. This is the most unladylike thing I've ever smelled.
There's a disaster in here.
Right? That is terrible.
I wasn't proud of that moment at all, but it was like, I need to go, or it's literally I'm going to have to go to Walmart after this, get some pants, because that's what's happening right now. I don't know what Yeah, I'm going to need a new attire if this is going to happen.
That is, I've had a few of those, and those are not fun. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening have had that happen where, gotta go right now.
Yeah.
That or I'm getting a new outfit.
Right. Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah. So kind of keeping on topic with the use of the handicap stall and kind of what the purpose is. So I see it a lot, and it's very unfortunate, is restaurants and stores and any place that has really a parking lot has specific spaces that are designated for handicap accessible people and handicap accessible vehicles, which would mean that you either have to have the handicap license plate, the license plate with the designation of handicap, or the thing in the rearview mirror that you kind of hang from the thing. What do you think about people who park there that aren't handicapped? Like, I know
they're assholes. That's what I think.
It's just, so I was thinking about it, and like I think there's like maybe a $50 fine or like a $100 fine or something if you're caught there. And obviously, it's not something cops aren't patrolling parking lots going, oh well, let me check to see if you got a handicap tag. Like I feel like it's something that's not that's not very nice. But like if you're going through a parking lot and you see some douchebag in a Honda Civic pull in to go into the grocery store and then pulls into the handicap spot, so there isn't any more, but then you see a guy who has a van that has to has a ramp in it, or not a ramp, but like a what I'm talking about, a lift for his, for a wheelchair, and he's got to park 20 spaces down. I feel like that guy that's in that handicap space should have to. I feel like there should be a bigger penalty, like a bigger punishment. But I don't know if that's something. I mean, that's just nitpicking because I hate assholes. But
you sure do. I love how you had it already down to a Honda Civic too. That was my favorite part of that story. It's like the guy in a Honda Civic, and I'm like, oh, I see what
I was trying to think, what's the number one car that I associate with the word douchebag in Honda Civic? Honda Civic.
Well, if you have anyone that listens to this that's in a Honda Civic, we just lost them. So
yeah, well, if that's the only car you can afford, I'm very sorry, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the other thing with handicap stops is that so like if you literally like your legs don't work or like you're like hobbled or like people like as they get older, obviously they can't walk the same and they need the handicap thing. When I see like just like a person that can like walk, or like they have like a little scooter, it's just because they're like 6,000 pounds. That also kind of grinds my gears a little. I know this isn't the grind your gears segment, but it's like you're not handicapped. You just ate a bunch of fucking McDonald's. Wait a minute, hold on here. Like I don't know. I understand like once like for some people it's not a thing of like whatever. But I don't know. It's just to me. I see that and I'm like, really? Like all right. Like you're lazy, so then they give you a designation to keep being lazy and park closer to the store.
Yeah, I think that's a bigger thing than just the spaces, but I totally agree with you. Hashtag same person. That if you're 450 pounds by choice, and obviously because we don't have a conversation and I just see you riding your little scooter, into Walmart, it's right. Like, yes, you are 450 pounds and you have a difficulty walking, but you only have that because you made poor life choices, not because not because you are paralyzed from the waist down. But it's like, well, just because I'm fat, I'm gonna get a handicap spot, so I don't have to walk that far. Like it's definitely not a cause by being parked closer to the store to go in and pick up your mini muffins and your Doritos.
Yeah, like so. Going back to like the actual handicaps, like I don't know, like they're marked that for a reason, and like kind of related, but not super. Like kind of related is like when my wife was pregnant. Babies R Us has like parking spots for like expectant mothers, and she would not even let me park there like ever because she's like, no, I can still walk, it's fine. I'm like, but you're an expectant mother, like you're like even like towards the end I was like, you're 8-9 months pregnant, we can park here, and she's like, no, I don't want to park here, I can still walk. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, come on, like we're like, we can use these, this is for you. She's like, nope, I can still walk, I'm fine, I don't feel like I'm gonna have a baby right now, so we're good.
Yeah, I feel like when my wife gets pregnant, that's exactly how she's going to be. Is she'll be 9 months pregnant, like going into labor, but we got to go into towards Babies R Us or something, and it says expectant mother. She's like, nope, just park over here. It's fine. I'll walk.
Right.
Like, okay, yeah, no, it is. I mean, that for that reason, I don't know why your wife is like, let's park here. Like, it's there for a reason. Like, you're the people that they made this spot for.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like, because the thing is, like, at our Babies R Us, at least, there's like, I want to say there's not like 3 per row on each side. So there's like every row, there's like 3 facing each other. So 6 and 6, like 6 total spots.
So there could be 24 expectant mothers at Babies R Us.
Right. And the thing is, they're always empty. There's like 1-2 cars in them. And I'm like, we can park here. It's fine. And like, even sometimes, and maybe this kind of is with the handicap spot, I shouldn't be parking there, but it's like, we could probably just park here. It's just like a suggestion almost, because it's not like an official handicap sign. But I don't ever park there because I'll get scolded. So it's like,
your wife looks over at you and says, "Park over there, you fucking asshole. You're walking. You're walking the long distance." I usually make a joke to my wife when she always parks farther away from the grocery store about why the hell she's parking so far away from the grocery store, because I don't feel like walking all that way. But yeah. Getting off topic here, but handicap spaces. If you're not handicapped, don't use them. Handicap stalls, if you got to take a shit, feel free to use them. As long as you don't see anybody in a wheelchair.
Yeah, as long as you see someone that's not needing some extra room.
Yeah.
Unless you really have to go, then I guess you have to make that moral decision for yourself.
Yeah, either shit your pants or let the guy in.
If you're at Walmart, I guess you're like, well, I guess I'll just go buy pants now.
Good decision. All right, let's move on to our awesome segment that we still need to tweak because we don't know how to do it properly is Crossfire. All right.
Crossfire.
All right, Justin, let's you go ahead and start this week.
All right, so daylight savings is March 14th, which is, I believe, next weekend, if my brain is working correctly. Do you think we should still use daylight savings? Do you think that still should be a thing?
No, I don't, because the rest of the world doesn't use it, and it's fucking stupid. So Xbox came out with a new program that they have launched for their alpha preview members called Xbox Game Pass, which is basically going to be Netflix, but for Xbox games. What do you think about that?
I think it's a really smart idea, and I think it could be something that changes the whole industry. Personally, it could if it's successful. So the LA Rams revealed their new jerseys for the season. Hopefully, you saw them because I never told you about this. But they're kind of a throwback. What's your thoughts on them? If you did in fact see them,
I did see them. I did see they switched the yellow in most of the uniform to the white, and I like throwback stuff like that. So I think they did a good job at bringing it back to the original LA look.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon Musk, man, a lot of my stuff is about Elon Musk. Elon Musk, who owns SpaceX, has said that they plan to send 2 private citizens like you and I around the moon in 2018.
Personally, that's nuts. Because if something goes wrong, that's going to be a big problem. Real big problem.
Yeah.
My final one will be, so this week, Bungie, developer of the Destiny series and Halo, said that Destiny 2's, your characters from Destiny 1 will carry over. It only looks, none of their possessions, none of their, light level, power, stuff like that. What's your thoughts?
As long as I'm able to change how my character looks, maybe add a beard, I'm okay with it, as long as they also give you something good in Destiny 2 that has to do with, all of your achievements from Destiny 1.
Hashtag same person.
All right. So my final crossfire is, what are your thoughts when you lose a bet to your best friend and you have to eat an entire spoon full of toothpaste?
Fuck you.
Okay, hang on. This is wait, I know it's crossfire, but I have to give some explanation here. So Justin and I made a bet about the news that Justin just mentioned in Bungie, with Bungie, about Bungie coming out and giving a separate kind of blog post about the news that they were giving out. And I had given a prediction of what was going to be in that blog post, and Justin completely said that I was wrong and said that if I was correct, he would eat an entire spoonful of toothpaste. Mm-hmm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was correct, and Justin ate an entire spoonful of toothpaste, and it was wonderful.
It was terrible. Here's a suggestion. Do not eat toothpaste, especially a spoonful of toothpaste, because you will dry heave, you will have tears in your eyes, and you will regret everything. Everything you drink and eat for the next half hour will be minty cold as it goes down your esophagus and down your trachea.
I'm sure that your breath still smells good from all that.
Right? I know. It was terrible. I was like, when I said it, it was like half joking. I was serious, obviously, when I said that. But I was like, oh, that's not going to be a big deal. It's freaking toothpaste. And then, I put on the spoon, and I'm just, looking at it. I'm like, this might be terrible. I don't know. And then, so then, I did it, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is the worst. Because it's, it gets stuck, and it won't, go anywhere. So it's I just swallowed it, and then I always thought it was coming back up. But luckily, it did not. But so I paid my bet, so that's all that matters.
Pro tip, don't eat toothpaste. So how after you ate that toothpaste, I'm sure you didn't want to, but how do you think it would have tasted if you would have eaten the most delicious Girl Scout cookies? Samoas.
It would have been great if I had some, if I didn't eat them all right away.
Well, there are the best cookie, Samoas, as we're talking. We're going to move into Girl Scout cookies here. I believe those are also your favorite. Hashtag
yes.
Same person?
Well,
yes.
It depends where you get them from, because, they taste the same, but they're either called Samoas or they're called Caramel Delights, as I found out this week.
Did not know that. That's
a
new fact of the day.
Really weird. And actually, same thing with the, I think the Thin Mints are the same no matter what. And then, I almost said, the tagalongs are also called peanut butter patties. And then, they have a new s'mores one this now, and one is like a almost like an Oreo kind of thing with like a yellow Oreo with like marshmallow and chocolate, and the other one's like actual like a wafer cookie covered in chocolate and marshmallow. And so it's like it depends on where you're getting your cookies from. It's different, I guess. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's an interesting fact. Looking at actually I did know about the s'mores. You did mention that. The s'mores that we got, because when we ordered them, we were like, ooh, look, that says s'mores. Anything usually with s'mores is delicious. Mm-hmm. We got the vanilla kind of cookie with chocolate and marshmallow, filling. Those were delicious. They weren't enough to overthrow Thin Mints or Samoa's / Caramel Delights, I guess they're called. But they were pretty good. So I would we'll call them a Samoa just because Samoa sounds better. We know them as the most delicious cookie. But yeah, so for me, the s'mores cookie was pretty good.
Yeah, the other s'mores cookie I had was good too. It was kind of like a Samoa, obviously no coconut or anything, but it was kind of, it was good. It wasn't like crazy good, but I would definitely eat them again. But I'm a fat ass, so.
Yeah, we actually just came from the grocery store a little bit ago, and girls were outside selling cookies, and my wife said, "Man, too bad we don't have any cash on us." And I said, "They probably have a thing that takes credit cards."
Yeah, they have one of those square readers.
Yeah, she immediately drove away because she knew that I would definitely jump out of the car and go buy more Girl Scout cookies.
We haven't ran into any Girl Scouts. Otherwise, I'd probably have some more Samoas right now.
Well, I hope you haven't run into any Girl Scouts. That's kind of rude. Just run into little girls trying to sell cookies.
Just tackle one of them. Give me Samoas. I need them.
Local man was arrested earlier today for aggravated assault because his fat ass wants some more Samoas.
He was found with cookie crumbs all over his face and shirt.
So Justin and I both think Samoas are the best. I like Thin Mints as does my wife, but I don't think Justin does.
No, I don't. I don't really like mint, as especially now with the whole toothpaste incident. I really hate
mint. Has been ruined.
Mint is ruined forever. I don't know. I tried one again with my wife, because my wife likes those. They were actually her favorite. She doesn't like Samoas. Well, I shouldn't say she doesn't like. It's just she doesn't. They don't
just prefer them.
Yeah. So, her thing is Thin Mints, and she usually puts them in the freezer, which actually sounds like a smart idea.
It is a very smart idea. That is exactly what we do. #same couple.
So I tried one, and it's just like, it's not of all the things that I've had as mint. Toothpaste would be at the bottom, Thin Mints would be at the top. I'm just not really a mint person.
Yeah. Well, remind me not to ever make you a mojito then, because
right,
you probably won't like it.
No, probably not.
Yeah. But we'll. I think what I might try to do, Justin, is put up maybe a Twitter or a Facebook poll to see what our loyal listeners prefer as their favorite Girl Scout cookies, because a lot of people, while I feel Thin Mints and Samoas are like some of the popular ones, like my wife's like the trefoils, which are the shortbread cookies.
Yes.
She's weird. I don't know.
No, what's funny is those are called something different too, because the ones we have are called like thank you cookies or some shit. I don't remember what they're called. Thank yous or I don't remember. Because
thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Those I like too. I feel like my wife gets those, and then like usually it's like after we get through everything else, it's like, well, we still have these. That's what those are for us.
Those are the leftover cookies.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, we still have these. I guess we can eat these. They're still cookies.
That is true. The cookie is a cookie. I mean, got to eat it whenever you have it.
So my next question for you is, how do you avoid not eating a whole box? Because I'm very terrible at this.
So here's the thing. I don't avoid it. I just know that it's going to happen, and so I let it happen.
Well, it's like I usually go like, oh, I'll just eat a row. And then like you eat a row, and then like all of a sudden you're like, well, that was really good. Maybe I should have like one more. And you're like, well, I already ate one of this row. I guess I have to eat the next row. Well, I've already ate 2/3 of the box. I guess I have to hold the box.
Girl Scout cookies can be a slippery slope when you start eating them.
Yes, no shit. I have no self-control when it comes to Girl Scout cookies is what I'm trying to basically say.
Yeah. It's a little bit easier, I think, eating Thin Mints, because Thin Mints come in 2 long kind of tubes of Thin Mints. So you can just take a tube and then, put the box back in the freezer or, wherever you're going to store it.
Right.
And then it's easier. But for the Samoas, which you and I both like, it's only one kind of tray. So it's like well, the tray's already out of the box, and I already ripped the plastic, so baggy to put them in, and just eat the whole box.
Right.
And then you look at the back, and it says it's 3,000 calories for the whole box, and you want to just
I didn't know
eat
that.
another box.
I just avoid the statistics on those so I don't feel bad.
Oh, sometimes I look just to make myself feel bad, but then I eat another box and I feel better. So,
right.
But
yeah.
So, Justin, what's something in your life that's been bugging the shit out of you?
Nothing, because actually, I have what I'm going to call a truck thought.
Truck thought.
Thought, because I've realized that when I'm driving and I don't have music or anything on, that my brain just wanders and thinks about things. And I was thinking about something the other day. Well, I actually thought when we first started the podcast. I actually saw someone. The reason why I thought is I saw someone. As I was taking my morning deuce, I saw something on Facebook in a group I was in and there was like a question that something had happened to him and asked, and I thought to myself that whole day as I was driving, I'm like, what would I have done? So I'm going to paint a scenario for you. I want to see what you would say first. So let's go back to when the day you got engaged to your wife. Okay.
Okay.
So you're there, you're going, you have the ring, you got it all set up, you got whatever you were going to do. I mean, I know what you're going to do, but what you were going to do, you have it all planned out, all ready to go. You're doing your thing, you're going along, and then you get to that moment, you get down on that knee, you ask her if he'll marry you, and she goes, no. What would you do at that point? Like, from that point on, like, where do you go from there at that point?
So my first reaction would probably be like, bitch, what?
Right?
No, I'd probably look really dumbfounded and go, oh, okay. And get up and brush my knee off, because what the fuck was the reason for getting it dirty if she said no? And then, I guess close the ring. And I don't even know if I would ask why not. I would just kind of say, oh, okay. And then that would be done, and just kind of then leave wherever, whatever the plan was. Just
right.
Forget the rest of the plan and just head home. And then kind of, after I'm able to collect myself, I'd be like, so I guess since, you're not going to marry me, is it timing? Are you never going to marry me? Because if you're never going to marry me, then there's really no reason for us to be together anymore.
Like, obviously, you should go into that situation like pretty much 110% sure of what the answer is already going to be. You should have already had those conversations. But I was just like, the one guy that I see, it's no one I knew. It was just someone in a group I was in, and it happened to them. And they were like, I was so sure, and this, that, and we even talked about this and that. And she said no, and now I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should break up with her. I don't know if this, that. So, like, see, the thing is, I got married. I didn't get married. I got engaged at the top of the Sears Tower, which is now known as the Willis Tower. So I would have probably just pushed her off the window. No, I'm just kidding. But,
went from trying to get engaged to a murderer. Got it.
No, but I'm just kidding. But I don't know, it's just one of those weird things I just saw. I mean, this obviously won't take a bunch of time, but it was just like something I saw. I was like, where do you actually, like, if that happens, what do you like do? Like, you were at that point, you were like so sure you wanted to spend the rest of your life with that person, and if they say no, then it's like, well, now what? Like, it's just like a really weird thing. And I was like, it just like kind of like captivated my mind that morning, because I was just like, wait, what? Like, what would you even do at that point? Like, do you just kind of like tough it out and see like if that changes and what happens? Or do you just kind of be like, well, you don't really see a future with me apparently, so I guess that's that. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if you can stick around after that, just because that's like, I mean, obviously it's a big deal. Now, if you go to propose to your girlfriend and she's only, you've only been together for 6 months, then there might be an issue if, there's an issue with that if she says no. But if you're together for, say, 3-4 years and then you propose, and then like you already have a house together and everything, and then it's like, married. But okay.
Yeah.
Cool story. I'm going to move on with my life, and I don't know.
Good luck.
Truck thoughts.
Truck thoughts. Yeah. So, I mean, I had something too that was grinding my gears, but I just don't remember what it was. So I was just like, well, I guess I'll go with the truck thought today.
Well, I guess it didn't grind your gears as much as you thought it did.
There's tons of stuff that grinds my gears, but we've already touched on that last episode. Mostly it's driving stuff.
It is mostly driving, since that's mostly what we do for your job. So yesterday, Justin, I went and saw the new movie Logan, which is the finale of the Wolverine saga
Mm-hmm.
for Marvel, and it was amazing. I wanted to give myself a day to kind of process it before I just went and said it was the greatest movie of all time. So I had a day to process it, and it was really good. It was probably my top 3 to 5 comic book movies that I've ever seen. It was dark. It was rated R, which I don't think any of the other ones had been. So it worked very well with what they did, and I think you should go see it. And I think everybody else should go see it as long as you have any inclination of what Logan is. It was actually a really good standalone movie, but it's definitely something that people should go see. I give it four thumbs up out of 5.
Nice. Yeah, we were gonna go see it today,
hopefully.
but then we decided not to.
Makes sense.
Well,
makes sense. The next day, yeah.
No, we'll probably go next week. We had someone even offer to babysit, and I was just like, I don't know, I kind of like being lazy. I know I had to record this in the morning, and I was just like, maybe we'll do it next weekend. We don't have nothing going on.
Yeah. Right. Well, whenever you get a chance to go see it, you can do that. But while you wait to see it, you can keep track on what's going on at the NFL Combine or the NFL offseason, as we've seen a lot of moves already happen. I think last podcast we said we were sad because we didn't have anything sports related, and that only lasted one episode because the scouting combine came into town, and moves started to be made in free agency, like big names that got released. Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles got released. Darrell Revis got released. Other big names I can't think of now, I'm sure got released.
Yeah, your favorite guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick got released. Fuck that guy.
Just a small story before we continue. Steven really does not like Ryan Fitzpatrick because it wasn't last year, it was the year before in fantasy football in the league you were in. You went with him as your quarterback in the final week, and he boned you.
I chose Ryan Fitzpatrick 2 years ago in the finals, and he shit the bed, so it cost me about $350. And hope he doesn't ever do anything else in his career because he's terrible.
How dare you, Ryan Fitzpatrick? Yeah.
How dare you? So, but other than those people getting released, we did have some franchise tags and non-franchise tags. Favorite team, the Redskins, franchise tag Kirk Cousins. Your favorite team, the Bears, did not franchise tag Alshon Jeffrey. So he is now a free agent. Where do you think he's going to go? You think he's coming back?
Based on what I read this morning, he's still talking with the Bears. So I'm hopeful because I kind of feel like if the Bears don't re-sign him, then right now, they could obviously sign someone free agency, draft someone, whatever, but it's like, okay, so then you have Kevin White, Eddie Royal, and Cam Meredith as your receivers right now, I believe. So Kevin White can't stay in the field for longer than like a few games, it seems, and then he's done for the season. So, and plus, like just from what I've seen of him, I don't know if he's a wide receiver one yet. I still think he has potential to be a thing still. He definitely is a very athletic guy, but I don't know. It's just that's very dire, especially when you're going to have probably a new quarterback coming in to the system. So it's like
a 99% chance you guys will have a new quarterback coming into your system.
Right. So it's almost like restarting everything. And it's like, even say if they go the rookie route, it's like you would like him to have people around him to make him elevate him and perform well. So I don't know. I really hope they get Jeffrey back just because I feel like I think he's another person that's kind of injury prone as well, but I think he's the kind of guy that is almost worth it. Like he's proven that when he's healthy, he is one of the best, I think. And then that's just my personal opinion. But his biggest drawback is that he's not on the field 16 games usually.
Yeah, that is a big drawback when you look at injury proneness to whether you want to re-sign a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it is tough to make that decision, especially for how much money he's asking. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you might have a new rookie quarterback, but if that guy doesn't have anybody to throw to or anybody to, you got a pretty good running game, but if you don't have anybody to throw to, it's not it's not going to be a good situation. I mean, like Carson Wentz last year for the Eagles, like his receiving core is absolute doo-doo. And so he started out kind of good, but then the rest of his season just went to shit.
Mm-hmm. And the worst thing too is like the rumor around here is the Bears are going to go after Mike Glennon, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, oh, no thanks. First it was Garoppolo.
Mike Glennon.
Yeah, it was Garoppolo, and then Patriots were like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So, and I didn't really want him either, just because I just feel like he's just too unproven still, and maybe he would have been like the next huge, great quarterback, but I just wasn't like we were going to have to probably give up, either our first or second, maybe third if we were lucky, but I don't know. It was just one of those things where I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think for Garoppolo, I think that the asking price for Garoppolo is way too high for what the Patriots, because Patriots want a first rounder for it. And I mean, while he looked okay in the short time that he was on the field as the starter, like did he prove enough that he's better, long term than maybe getting a rookie and trying to groom him yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Like drafting Trubisky or drafting Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really worth giving up that high, especially for like a team like you said, like your Bears? They have to pick number 3 in this draft, and I feel like you can get a much bigger playmaker than Jimmy Garoppolo. Like you get Jonathan Allen or Myles Garrett, who Myles Garrett looked absolutely beast at the combine.
Oh, yeah.
He ran a 4.64 something like that, which is
4.64, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And then Jonathan Allen's fat ass only ran a 5 flat as a.
I know.
So he's. Yeah. Either way, got off track there, but yeah, I think Jimmy Garoppolo's too high of a. The asking price is way too high for what he brings to teams.
I also think that Tony Romo's asking price might end up being a little too high, because I feel like Jerry Jones, he still kind of has like that. Like he still wants him kind of. He's like the way he's paying it, or at least he's just trying to sell it that way so that people want him. And the one thing is like Romo, I feel like I think he's a talented quarterback and he can be a good quarterback, a solid quarterback for someone. But the problem is that I've basically glass in my eyes. Like if he gets hit hard the wrong way, he doesn't even have to get hard. If he just falls wrong, like his back could be done. And it's just one of those things where it's kind of like Wes Welker back in the day, because he kept getting concussions. It was like, teams just didn't want anything to do with him anymore, because it's like if he gets hit in the head, even a moderate hit, he could be concussed and done for his career. So it's just one of those things where it's like this injury-prone guy is like Romo. I'm just like, because the Bears were like, oh, he's from around this area. He's from Burlington, Wisconsin, which is like right here. It's like really southern Wisconsin. So it's like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, maybe he'll come here because it's closer to where he was, his home. And it's like, I was kind of like, and let's just keep him away.
Yeah. No, there's been rumors that the Redskins would trade Kirk Cousins to the 49ers and they would get Romo for Cowboys and like some exchange for trades. And while Romo to the Redskins sounds like a terrible idea in itself, I think, like you said, the asking price is way too high for people. Don't realize he's like 36, 37, and old. One wrong hit and he could be paralyzed. Like he could physically become paralyzed from all the hits that he's taken, especially with all the back damage. Mm-hmm. So like, why would you even consider, getting that type of quarterback now for a team? I don't know, like the Browns or somebody who doesn't have a quarterback now that is going to draft a rookie and then needs somebody to maybe be a stopgap. I could see them trading a 6th or 7th round pick, but there's no way you trade more than that for a quarterback who, like we said, is ridiculously old in terms of NFL age. And is one, he could trip down the stairs and miss a step, and then he compressed his spine, and now he's done for 2 more years.
I just imagine Tony Romo just like going down the stairs. My back! I'm screwed. They're gonna cut.
There it is. That's what it could be. I mean, it's like stuff like, well, we've seen other random stuff happen to players that get hurt like that, but for somebody who has that kind of just injury history, it's like, well, let's not give up the house for somebody like that.
Yeah, and then I know we have another bet. Also, I don't know if toothpaste is involved in that one. Probably never again toothpaste, but you think Peterson will get signed before Jamal Charles, and I think Charles will get signed before Peterson. Why do you think that Peterson will get signed first?
So I think that Peterson will get signed first is because while he has been injured, maybe just as much as Jamal Charles. It hasn't been as recently, and it hasn't been Jamal Charles. I think has had 2 ACL tears in the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
While Peterson has had his ACL torn twice, I believe it was earlier in his career, and he's also, I think, the most freak of nature athlete in the NFL as far as his body, quality. I don't want to know if that's the right word, but like just the way that he's made
Hmm.
basically, and the way he can recover from injury is a lot different than Jamal Charles. Like Jamal Charles tore his ACL last year. They tried to get him on the field this year, and he just wasn't physically ready. So they pulled him off the pup list, and then they continuously had to deactivate him for games because he just wasn't physically ready. And so my thought is that while Adrian Peterson, maybe healthier, his skill level is also just better than Jamal Charles. That's my thinking on that.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably a bet I'll lose, honestly, but because I don't know, Charles. You made a good point there about how he just wasn't able to play last year, even though he was supposedly ready. And I don't know, maybe Charles is a player I could see that maybe he doesn't even come back at all because he's going to have to pass a physical and stuff like that. But I just feel like Charles overall, like just overall as an offensive player, is a better asset if he can get healthy and back to, obviously he'll probably never be 100% again, just because, like you said, you tear both your ACLs, you're not going to do so well. So, but he's great at catching the ball. He's a great pass catcher. And that's one thing I think Peterson lacks in his game is being able to be a receiving threat because he just never has been that. I mean, he obviously catches the ball here and there, but he's always just been a running back. And I think Peterson is more reliable or more relying on a good offensive line. Like the Raiders, I think would be a perfect spot for Peterson, honestly, because they wouldn't use him every down. He wouldn't have to be an every down back. But I feel like that offensive line is good enough where he could thrive still, like even at his age, at a place like that. Whereas Charles, I think,
Yeah.
he's a little more dicier. But that's the thing is it's going to come down to health, I think, with Charles.
Yeah, it'll definitely come down to if he can pass the physical and kind of what he looks like. But your kind of matching scenario there with AP to the Raiders would be a really good fit, especially with the offense they already have, really, with Derek Carr and Mark Cooper, Michael Crabtree, in that offensive line. I think that would be kind of dangerous, and that would, if Derek Carr didn't go down this year, we could have had maybe a different story in the Super Bowl or at least the AFC Championship because that team was just doing really well, and I think AP would only help to bring them even higher up to the echelon of the AFC there. So, but one thing I really hope that doesn't happen is AP to the Giants, which a lot of people have said because as a Redskins fan, I don't really want to face AP twice a year, especially when my defense is a piece of shit and and we let anybody run all over us.
Yeah, you guys definitely need some defensive line help. That is for sure.
Complete defensive help. We just need a whole new defense.
Because
supplant.
Giants they released Rashad Jennings, and then like with the Raiders they released Murray. So there's definitely some like running back talent out there. So that's the other thing I'm wondering is Murray's obviously younger than either of those guys, and I feel like Murray is a guy that he just seems like he's on the cusp of being like a good NFL running back, but he just never truly gets there. It's almost kind of like Lamar Miller before when he was on the Dolphins. Like he was good,
right?
But he wasn't great. And even on the Texans this year, he had some games where he was great, but then he had some games where he just didn't do nothing. So it's one of those things where it's hard to tell with some of these guys because they're like in that little, just like right at the cusp of like being like, okay, this guy could be good, but if Murray couldn't do it behind that offensive line with the Raiders, it's like if he goes somewhere else, there's probably not many offensive lines that are better. I mean, the Cowboys, obviously, your offensive line is pretty good as well. And I saw that they want to upgrade that. So
I'll definitely take Adrian Peterson if they want to, if he'd like to come here. He obviously probably wouldn't like to come here since we're one of the reasons he tore his ACL. But, hey, whatever. And play with Kirk Cousins because I hope it resigns Kirk Cousins. But
yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. I think it starts March 9th, I believe, is Tuesday.
That sounds right, yep.
March 9th, Thursday. I think that's the date that people can start officially signing free agents. So we'll wait and see who the first big name, big contract guy is. I don't think we'll see too many big guys. It'll probably be like maybe some, some kind of B B to C plus level guys being signed, immediately.
Mm.
But
there's a lot of good corners out there too. So
yeah,
but I'm sure we'll probably next episode. I'm sure we'll go over all the free agency signings as part of one of our.
Yeah, we'll probably do that and maybe do a draft preview. Of who we think top few picks are, but that'll be for next time. But I think that will actually wrap it up for this time for our Same Person Radio podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes by searching Same Person Radio or by going to feeds.feedburner.com/Same Person Radio. You can also check us out on our official Twitter page at Same Person Radio. Justin's Twitter is at Leviathan426. Myself is Galvin at Galvinator93. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Same Person Radio. Let us know what you think by using hashtag Same Person Radio. And thanks for listening, everybody. Justin, good talking to you again. And we'll see you guys next time.
Adios. Bye.
Bye.